they aren't militant enough. I think this is very undermining their
He's getting points off for not mentioning that he's pro-Kurdish genocide and defends Saddam.
Who is?
So once again, Kurds are forgotten by another YouTube live streamer, which should be Hakeem's greatest criticism, is that he's defended the genocide of the Kurds and the genocide in Xinjiang. Who gives a shit about the rest?
Yeah.
Stand up for actual minorities for once.
I mean, he probably also defends Assad and his chemical weapon attacks too, I imagine.
I don't know about
the same.
I don't know how far with that, but I know that he totally supports the Anfal campaign and shit.
Yeah, that's fucking repugnant. What a scum piece of shit.
Fuck.
This is the U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
We just also, if you haven't seen, we have a video out where we make fun of these two idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have a problem with them in general. Like they seem nice. I just think that they're dumb. The next video we have is them actually doing the debate with Vosh, and they're literally like both of them are so not all three of them are the most uninformed people ever to decide to debate a topic they know nothing about.
It's such a good video. It's so entertaining. You just go off every like 30 seconds. It's so funny.
It was originally I had to cut an hour and a half from the video. It was originally 3 hours long, I think, in the recording.
Yeah.
At the start of the video, he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know what I believe. He has no.
Have you made the tweet?
Oh, I'm making it now, but keep going.
Yeah.
Never followed me before, and now he's trying to do political commentary on what my motivations are. So I don't know if this gets uploaded and they want to have a conversation with me on stream. I'm more than willing to have that conversation because it seems like a lot of this is being said out of ignorance and lack of research. Which,
honest, their plan. I think that that's their growth plan, and I actually think that these guys are smarter than people do give them credit for. Like, if you look back in their videos and stuff, like you can see like when they start to gain stuff, it's because they're like doing these attacks on people and then like just being really stupid about it, knowing that they'll get a response from people.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. I mean, that's what happened with us and Bad Empanada, except he's fucking retarded. And all of his fans too. The dumbest of dumb.
Super mad about that but I think that they should have this knowledge if they want to do political commentary in the leftist space. So I noticed that this went out. The Vanguard podcast put out a video recently, Keffals' new anti-communist grift. And I wanted to hear them out and give my thoughts on what they have to say.
Shout out to the boss. You guys keep up with Keffals' shameless grift. Have you seen some of her recent tweets? She's like really going in this like anti-communist direction. Posting.
Oh, we got the reacception going.
Yeah, no, and now we're next.
How many cameras can we get on screen, bro?
I used to defend Stalin. I used to defend genocide. I know what they say behind closed doors. They want power, and if they get it, they want to put all actors in camps. So you guys know that like, I'm not a tanky myself, and Zach and I don't really.
I mean, she's right. Why are you criticizing it? She's right.
Do the whole
Wait till you learn what other extremists say stuff face-wise, but don't say the same thing behind closed doors. Remember how I said that al-qeada are just like communists?
Flag waving tankies. We're soldiers. But I also do think it's really weird when people supposedly on the left somehow end up spending more time shitting on like communists than they do like right-wingers or conservatives.
So I guess my first criticism of the point that they're making here is that I am talking about tankies. The reason that I use the word
is she Canadian?
She is.
Oh no, Alpha Keffals.
Yeah, I told you she helped grow the Canadian Communist Party or something.
so often is because I want to make a distinction between communists and tankies. I don't think that everyone who is a communist is a bad person. And I agree with a lot of communist political views. But tankies are people who are hardliners for the foreign policy and the human rights abuses of countries like China and North Korea. And I have no issue with calling this out. I'm not anti-communist. And the reason that I call this out so much is because I want the left to be stronger. And we are seeing a shift right now where this is not a minority position. And never listen to anyone who says that this is a minority position when so many people around the world are Marxist-Leninists. Marxism-Leninism is a massive political force outside of the United States and the Western countries. To minimize that is honestly a level of detachment from issues that are happening outside of America. And I would call it very American-centric thinking.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is your whole Twitter timeline about tankies and communists? Like,
because they're fucking awful human beings. But so is mine.
Keffals' career very much, if at all, Zach. But did you have any thoughts on this?
I know almost nothing about Keffals. I know that she's popular and that she had beef
me either, though. Like, honestly,
one picture of
she's just like, the fuck are you making a video on me for then?
I told you this is what they do. How new is this? Because the bottom guy looks even better, and also his mic finally isn't blowing out.
9 days.
Like, because his mic was always like 10 times louder than everyone else on stream, so we would talk and it would blow everything out before it auto balanced.
Destiny and Bosch eating dinner in DC the other day, and then she did not look very pleased to be there. But yeah, no, I mean, this is kind of like, I don't know, it's like LARPy. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm sure there.
So a few thoughts here. Why would the video be Keffals' new anti-communist grift where they admit in the video itself that they actually know nothing about me? As far as that picture with me, Bosch, and Destiny, we were all told to look unhappy for the picture. One of the things that I think is very weird
I refuse to believe she's not aware that she's giving into it and she knows it's making content for her, though, you know? Like, I think she's well aware what she's feeding because she's gonna reap it later to make content on stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone here is could be equally called a grifter for the same reason. But I also don't think anyone here is a bad person.
But I use the term much differently.
Yeah, I do too.
I wouldn't even classify her under that category at all.
Also, because mainly she doesn't do anything like that. But just the reaction circles that they're good for. That's what people want to watch on YouTube. They want to watch the drama stuff.
Yeah.
Me saying this is apparently LARPy when talking about my lived experience as a member of a Marxist-Leninist party, someone who's run for office as a Marxist-Leninist, someone who has shaken hands with Marxist-Leninists from a wide variety of countries across the world and been thanked for my activism by the Venezuelan embassy.
Lol.
I don't understand what is LARPy about that. The things that I talk about come from the things that I experienced in my own life. I was not radicalized into being a tanky because of the internet. My first exposure to Marxism-Leninism was literally going to Cuba at a young age and reading the Cuban national newspaper.
There are college campuses where there's fucking a bunch of people who are mentally unwell, who are saying things like, oh, if we get power, it'll be death to all who oppose us and whatever. But I mean, it gives all of leftism a bad name. It like shines a light on like the most absolute fringe, most absolute, like, basically what you're revealing is that you never had a very good sense of like political acumen. You were like, oh, I got swept up by the absolute most minority position that you could pop.
Bro,
it seems like they agree with me.
No, you two literally do have videos on your channel about why Jill Stein is based, and she's literally like paid by Putin and the IRGC-IO and shit. Like, come on, guys. You are the last ones to talk. Just because you figured out that Jimmy Dore and Aaron Mate are bad guys.
Which, that's not that hard to do.
I know. Like, they get by on the bare minimum. They're fine.
But
I
also,
don't even see, they're the ones that I don't tag because I don't want them to start making videos about me and like bringing attention, that kind of attention. Like, leave me alone.
I want to see what they say.
I mean, I talk to them, but I wouldn't want to do like this type of bullshit. Like, I'm a journalist, dude. Like, if you want to like do like journalism stuff, and like I'll like talk about the current events and like actual information that surrounds shit.
Yeah, but this drama shit, posting Twitter screenshots and talking about Twitter. Who gives a shit?
Like, not even like even
Destiny.
Like, even Taylor Renz doesn't get that low.
Yeah.
Undermining how much they seem to understand what the current political situation is. The largest Twitter account that currently exists right now by engagement numbers is Jackson Hinkle, someone who explicitly identifies as a Marxist-Leninist who has called himself a tanky on many occasions, who is a hardline defender of China, North Korea, and the Russian government. The largest leftist, and I say that in quotes, but the largest like so-called leftist YouTuber right now is Second Thought, who spends an inordinate amount of time saying that China, North Korea, and Cuba are all socialist countries, and the United States is not a democracy. However, North Korea is somehow a democracy, and funnels his viewers towards a deprogram pod where the viewers are then subjected to Hakeem, who has said that there was never any massacre in Tiananmen Square, that the Holodomor never happened, that Hamas are heroes, and his biggest criticism of them only a couple years ago was that they aren't militant enough. I think this is very undermining their
He's getting points off for not mentioning that he's pro-Kurdish genocide and defends Saddam.
Who is?
So, once again, Kurds are forgotten by another YouTube live streamer, which should be Hakeem's greatest criticism, is that he's defended the genocide of the Kurds and the genocide in Xinjiang. Who gives a shit about the rest?
Yeah.
Stand up for actual minorities for once.
I mean, he probably also defends Assad and his chemical weapon attacks too, I imagine.
I don't know about the same. I don't know how far with that, but I know that he totally supports the Anfal campaign and shit.
Yeah, that's fucking repugnant. What a scum piece of shit. But let's also like don't forget that Second Thought and Balkan Odyssey and all these guys funnel everybody to these specific, not just the podcast, but the channels of these fucking parasites, right? And it's just more of this shit where the video is 70% conditioning for their garbage ideology that they release at the end. Like that's the video format that they do. They are trash, absolute trash, and that needs to be.
I assumed this. I just hadn't seen anything that he said about it specifically yet. And because I would want to see that, because I would want to make a video about it. So
yes,
I haven't looked hard enough yet.
Political knowledge.
Making fun of Second Thought is more in the meta right now than Hakeem, though.
Yeah,
but we have videos about Hakeem. We have ones coming out, I think, still.
And I think we've got a few in the pipe as well that we can watch.
Realize this while making these points. I'll agree with them that there are a lot of very insane terminally online tankies on the internet. However, this is a legitimate issue with some of the biggest names in left-wing commentary being tankies.
Possibly hold on the internet, the like rabid fucking like Stalinist tanky left, and like it could happen to you, and it's like, actually, bro, that doesn't happen to most people. That doesn't actually, that's not compelling to the rest of us. We actually enjoy our rights. I've always held, and so has Gavin, that like, you know, we like to be the apex of like collectivism and, you know, personal freedom, right? So it's like, yeah, you know, don't harm anybody, go after it. But like, if you're gonna harm other people, like, then we do believe in regulation. Like, you know what I mean? Pretty simple.
Breathe, my guy. Come on.
Totally.
You can take a breath
like
in between your sentences.
Edgy thing.
Yeah, you can edit. Like, come on.
He literally was talking like, come on, just breathe. Like, he ran out of breath and was doing the like, I'm running out of breath talk thing.
Yeah.
I think that's not already the mainstream thought. Like being anti-communist is somehow wow, what a bold, brave position to
I'm
take.
anti-communist.
That's not what like the entire
Now this is interesting. I'm gonna let him finish just for 1 second.
Mainstream media, the education system in this country, like that's
Yeah,
what
I
has been
think
shoved down
so.
the throat.
This
Now,
I think
never went to an American.
this right here. This is kind of like this is just like, who cares? What like it was today. I was like, somebody was laughing because somebody was walking up to climate protesters saying that the nylon vest they were wearing made out of petroleum. Like, cotton is worse for starters in the clothing industry, right? And they're like, just stop oil, you're wearing oil. And it's like people who think like a fucking communist can't own a house or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like even like as much as like I don't like Second Thought and Hassan and all of that, I think the idea of them like not like, yeah, sure, they don't necessarily need a supercar or anything like that, but I think the
but they
idea,
also don't give their money back either.
yeah,
right?
but
they don't give back
their agenda being pushed about how they're actually actually the idea that's pushing forward, that they're pushing forth the idea, that's the same way, like they believe this. Hassan believes this. I don't know about Second Thought's motivations, but Hassan definitely believes that he's pushing communism forward and is like the idea guy, right? And protesters are the same way. They believe that they're pushing something forward. And like,
school,
somebody's got to do it.
Sure.
One in chat. I'm just curious here. One in chat, if they have ever used the word tanky in a school lecture or mainstream media when discussing communism. I haven't actually heard this ever. I see a bunch of twos where people have never heard this because the term tanky was a word that was made up by communists in order to talk about the people who were hardline supporters of Soviet foreign policy, rolling tanks into Hungary to stop an uprising because of people who wanted their own national determination, because the Soviet Union was an empire that was held together by force. Thus, individual Soviet republics, they were not held together through a voluntary contract with each other. So I think it is a bit disingenuous to say that this is all a mainstream narrative, when my perspective on this does not come from the mainstream. My perspective on this comes from being very embedded in communist spaces itself, as I have for the last several years of my life.
Of all Americans for basically all of time. Don't act like it's some radical position to come out here and be like, I don't really like communism. I think communism's kind of scary. Like, wow.
Yes. Okay. So, I just mentioned, I was like, so my car, the Bluetooth speaker's broken. So I just listen to whatever's on the fucking radio. So I'm always like fucking sifting through it.
I think the thing is, though, like, for instance, when I was debating the Yankee Tanky, I was coming at it from a position where I was debating using the primary sources from the Communist Party of China itself. If I were to be coming at this from a conservative or a mainstream position, I would be going to right-wing news. I wouldn't be quoting communist parties when making my arguments.
Yes. That is the only way to do it, because the Chinese Communist Party does not hide how fascist they are. It's right in the open. You just have to look for it. There are people who translate it. The Great Translation Movement is one of them on Twitter. If you don't follow it, follow it. They do all the translations of all the Chinese documents. So you know what the Chinese party is saying internally, because the internal and external messages from the Chinese Communist Party are completely different. They are, it's all face outwards. It's all bullshit. Everything they say, from their green energy to their AI shit, it's all bullshit. There is nothing happening within China. It is degrading. It's stagnated. It is a dying country, which is why Xi is coming to America to try and get some kind of diplomatic relationship back, because they fucked up and they know it.
mentioned how there was a really basic guy that snuck through on 90.1 The Bridge. But when I was driving back home, I hear less bass discussion. And it was just these two fucking boomer assholes, and they were like, we're doing a Back the Blue live event here in Prairie Village, and you guys should come out. And isn't it just a goddamn shame that you have to even do an event like this? Like, you have to say, hey, the police aren't that scary. They're just, they're SUVs and sunglasses, and I don't know what it is about the cops. That's literally what they were saying. Is it the SUVs? They're moms and dads just like you all. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? So they had to get a good bolt propaganda. But that's basically what Keffals is doing, right? She's basically like, I'm being brave enough to come out here and tell y'all that I love my country. I know it's or better yet, actually, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Yeah,
it's
that
the left wing.
Her reaction is my reaction.
She's Canadian.
Or I don't know what you would call it. It's like the terminally online version of the I am not afraid to say Merry Christmas. I'm not afraid to say it anymore. I'm going to say it to you. I love my country. I love my religion. I love Merry Christmas to all of us.
What?
Merry Christmas, baby
What is
Jesus,
happening?
all that. No.
I have no
They
idea.
still do
Look at her
that?
face. She's
that's
what I feel inside right now.
Yeah. That's exactly how I'm feeling too. Like, what the fuck is happening?
What am I doing here in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by frozen corpses?
So I think it goes without saying that I never made any of those points. I don't know how you can construe the fact that I don't like people who are hardline defenders of China or North Korea as me somehow being a conservative that thinks there's a war on Christmas. For the record, I'm brave enough to say it. I will wish you a Merry Christmas, but I will also wish you a happy holidays.
Fucking ads.
I'm going for a shower.
I'm fine with this.
Do they still? I feel like ever since I graduated from like high school, I'm kind of out of touch with what
Last
people
year?
like.
That's
You know,
because they're letting the liberals
Yeah.
win. They're letting the liberals win. Nobody's allowed to
The
say it no
war
more.
on
That's why you ain't never heard it.
Christmas,
No, he's this man, this poor son of a bitch right here, this poor boy right here. He says it's been since he's graduated high school that anybody's been allowed to say Merry Christmas to him. Well, I know we're a little early, son, but Merry Christmas. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm a brave soldier. I'm a soldier of God. I'm a God warrior. And
What
my brother, this is haram.
I will shine a light upon those that intend to spread darkness. God damn it! Now, thank you all.
We have a name
I
for
was just
fantasy
talking about
realized.
this, but
It's called
this feels like a
Nightmare.
What the
That
fuck
was-
just happened?
What is going on, bro?
Bro, I do not understand it. It like hurts my brain.
continuation of the point that I made, where people are unwilling to actually engage with any of the political points that I make, because they took 2 tweets and they managed to come from this, like they managed to extract.
Look at how
tweets
big they've built their channel by doing exactly this, Keffals, though. Like, you gotta give it to them. You gotta give it to them. Like, they have built like their own little empire with, like, like, I want the cult that they have, guys. Come on.
We're much more useful too.
Also, like, you can't see it, but the gator flag he has behind him says "fuck around and find out" below it.
It does, yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Mm.
talking about tankies that I am a conservative and I am a patriot or something, when there's an entire library of me talking about different political issues they could easily go to if they wanted to know what my positions were on these various topics.
They don't, though.
Please, Keffals, that would be work.
They don't. They don't care.
dude, I will never.
This is about the production value of the videos that we were making for the other thing that I was doing. That's the quality of video this is. Right? That's about what I'm getting. Pretty much the same vibes.
It's just basic StreamYard asset.
That year,
Yeah.
I think it was our senior year of high school when everyone was freaking out about the red cups at Starbucks and how they were.
Also, their banner is just a solid. The background is just like a solid color.
Yeah. Like, get a background, guys. Fucking
Can
hell.
we like
put your logo on the background? Fucking hell.
Can we like pull us out of there to like show our background here?
Yeah.
Do we have a button that does that?
Yeah. Okay. Here. Ready? I don't think anyone can hear. I don't think anyone can hear us.
Yeah. Oh,
while we're
yeah. So follow the Roman Empire background. Caesar's
and
head
then
toppled on its side.
Yeah, and then like our main show one is
I mean,
literally.
everyone's seen the IRA guys. They know.
No, I know, but it's just just as an example here, right? So right, like that's for the show, right? That's our show thumbnail thing that we have on all of our stuff for the LTech shows, right? Just put your fucking logo on it. It's not hard.
Their logo is below, underneath Keffals. It's a little van. They don't
Is
have
it?
it in the so they have it there. It's just not in the corner.
Well, that would be a good background to have as a full picture.
So they built it into the background and are using the background and the logo in the lower. That's gonna, and I think YouTube basically gives you it anyway in the lower.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sad of Christmas, goddammit.
Wait, they reacted to this video?
Going on, like...
No. Like they stopped talking about Keffals like 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
And now they're just ranting about random shit that has no relevance at all.
Yeah.
Concurrently to the
But if they reacted to this video, send me a link.
Yeah, please.
Because we can re-exception it up. Because we love doing that. Get as many cameras on the screen as we can.
Towers. Who knows?
Yeah, they did.
I don't
Okay.
think that ever happened, obviously, but yeah, dude, people were acting like that was such a scandal. They're like, tell the name is Merry Christmas.
Have these people, and this has nothing to do with me or anything really. It's just
who are you calling these people?
Ranting at this point. But have these people never met any leftists that aren't Marxist-Leninists? The criticism of Marxism-Leninism.
They are terminally
They don't
online.
touch grass, Keffals.
Yeah,
they don't touch grass.
They are the terminally online ones that they spoke about. That is them.
Literally all they do is like, hey, I saw this on Twitter today. Let's make an entire fucking podcast about it. By the way, I'm subscribed. So, okay, here we go. Hang on.
You found it?
No, hang on.
Oh my god. They did a video about Tim Pool calling out Dave Smith and Glenn Greenwald. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh no. Oh no. Fucking hell.
Okay, so
is not new. Trotskyists, Maoists, social democrats, anarchists of all stripes.
Hey.
I don't understand why it's seen as anti-communist grift to be mad at Marxism-Leninism. This is a very normal position.
Anarchists literally flipped the Tankies table at the book fair. Like,
okay.
It's notorious.
No, Daz specifically did that.
Based. Hilarious, but everybody got behind it.
Hang on, I accidentally posted it in regular chat, but here's the private chat. They click this one instead because it's the same video, but just re-exceptioned even harder.
Okay. Now we have to give them ad rev.
I don't care. I'm fine with them.
Off Kmart. Where's my Hamas
It's so
bag?
funny because Kmart doesn't exist here anymore.
I want my Hamas bag, but they fucking
Bro,
took
they
it off
used
the
to be
shelf.
an internet provider, you know? Like they did
Seriously?
the fucking they originally were the first ones to do like the Roadrunner shit or something. I don't know. No, I don't remember. I just remember people all this. No, it was free. Kmart gave out like free internet or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. I just know that the school had them. All the schools would have the Kmart internet. Blue Light, I think it was called.
Interesting. Hey, Blue Light. In 2 unskippable ads. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's fine.
This caught my eye. I think one of our lovely.
See, there's their logo. In the
yeah
corner down there.
That would be a great full background. It took them 2 minutes to get to the video.
Fuck. First, there's too many commies and tankies, and now there's a lack of research on Twitch.
Calling you out for not being expert.
I'm an improper journalist on the history of Keffals' beliefs, but
You're not a journalist.
I'm
Please tell me you don't
overreaching when I
call
say
yourself
that
a
the history
journalist.
of
If I go to your
America has
bio right
been,
now and you call yourself a journalist, I'm going to be really upset with you. then I'm actually going to have a problem with you.
pretty one-sided on its takes on communism. You're not exactly a fucking crusader for, new information. If you're
Stop
out here
using
being
the
like,
word
guys, I think we
crusader.
should really be worried about the scourge of communism. And like, are you really sure? Because
Scourge.
there's no fucking communism in America at all. Far from it.
To be fair to Keffals, I do believe she's Canadian and now lives in Europe. I think so.
Northern Ireland.
You're right. And communism's just fucking everywhere. And
Northern Ireland's not Europe.
And it's a communist utopia. It's just like North Korea over there.
Yes, it's the UK.
Right. I would be down to chat with Keffals, though.
Okay. I see where this is going, huh?
She seems
Yeah,
like.
What did I say? You see, it's the infinite circle of jerking.
Yeah, but instead, she should just come on our show because fuck these guys.
Or would go on hers. I don't give a shit.
At least a nice, respectful
I'm sure
person.
she's fine. I always think it's fucking. I just think it's funny, and I have to continue to roast you if you like find an obscure video that somebody made about you, and then you just mauled about it on your own fucking show. Like, at least laugh about it. Like, at least be like, "Wow, that was a really good joke." These guys are
a joke, huh? It's just a prank, bro. Says every tanky ever
the
who
description of their
gets
Twitter.
shit on.
The description of their Twitter is so.
What is it?
Two dudes covering the news and online leftist media through a progressive populist lens.
Oh no.
I want to like. There's no link to their personals though. Like, I want to know.
No. That's probably. Well, have a look.
Has it on
he has
screen.
an
Like,
ad.
he's got the Gavin. Maybe Zach is not online, and
maybe.
Bro,
that would explain.
Bro,
a lot.
Oh my god, you're gonna love this. Right away at the top of their feed, like one of the first retweets I see.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Of course. Jesus Christ.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't that epic?
What else is there? Jesus Christ.
Stop Cop City stuff, mostly their stuff.
Ardent
Brianna Joy Gray repost.
Even though we have fucking one small political disagreement, I've
Ryan Grimm.
Anyway, we can keep going. I don't have.
Yeah, bro. If someone made a video this funny roasting us, I would at least crack a smile.
Hassan.
Funny. They called it funny. Okay.
100%. When Tim Black got us, we were like, "Oh, hey, you got us. That was funny."
Exactly.
What?
Super mad about that but I think that they should have this knowledge if they want to do political commentary in the leftist.
Who? Abby
Okay,
Martin?
what-
Yes. No. We are actually doing a video where we're going to talk about Abby a little bit more. Abby is my favorite propagandist, but yeah, she's open that she's a 9/11 truth, that she was a 9/11 truther and was wrong, and now that she's right. But like, I love Abby because I think she's really got the most heart in the game out of like all of them. I think she really is like the best that you can get as far as like a propagandist, because she's not stupid like Hezbollah TV is.
Yeah.
Like, and I like her voice too. Like, Abby's got a like really like soothing voice that's like, I'll believe anything you say, mommy. Also, she does have I always say this, but it's a technically kind of pro Hamasi documentary, but it's really good. It's called like it's like is Palestine's right to peace or something. Anyway, she made a documentary on the March of Great Return for Palestine about like the medic who was shot and shit, and it's very, very good, even though there is stuff about how Hamas totally is an anti-Semitic in it and stuff like that, but it's still a good doc. And she's also paid by Hamas.
So I first saw her on Tim Pool's show. I just looked it up. He deleted it.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
Space.
Oh. Well, we're not lefties, right? We're pretend lefties. We're a communist podcast.
We're fascists, Zach.
Yeah, we're fascists.
She didn't say that.
Everybody
No, she didn't.
Me as a fascist. Let me get.
They really like reaching.
Yeah.
point, this comes back to World War II. I don't
They're
know.
bad listeners as well.
Yeah, they're not listening.
She's been on Joe Rogan, I think,
noticed
2 or 3 times.
Yes, she has a few times.
This one out. The Vanguard podcast put out a video recently.
She got our name right. She didn't call us the Vanguard Boys.
She is a paid
LOL,
shill though.
yeah.
She's
Shut
totally paid. Her husband is
yeah.
her husband is like a PSL founder. Like PSL
Yeah,
is
she was on
the
RT
IRGC.
forever.
Yeah, PSL is literally the IRGC. Like,
yeah,
she is like, she's right in the network. She's always been paid.
Up to you. Appreciate
Keffals'
that,
new
Keffals.
anti-communist grift, and I wanted to hear them out and give my thoughts on what they have to say.
Honestly, thank
Shout
you,
out to the
Keffals. I
boss.
appreciate that.
You guys keep up with. Yeah, it was a respectful intro.
10
no
times
roasting
more
off the
respectful
gate.
than us.
Didn't call us Columbine shooters or anything like that.
Fascist tanky sympathizer.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of easy jokes you can make when you click on a Vanguard video.
I expect everyone to make it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you entertain your audience. We're not journalists.
The
Keffals, you don't have to worry
they're
about
not
that.
even wearing a mask.
Go back.
Integrability.
Run that back what he just said.
You just realized what they said?
No, hang on. Wait, listen.
Yeah, it was a respectful intro.
10
no
times
roasting
more
off the
respectful
gate.
than us.
Didn't call us Columbine shooters or anything like that.
Fascist tanky sympathizer.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of easy jokes you can make when you click on a Vanguard video.
I expect everyone to make it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you entertain your audience. We're not journalists. Keffals, you don't have to worry about scrutinizing our journalistic integrity. Integrity.
I
See, I
think
can't even
they're
fucking speak
trying to say
correctly
that
when
they
you're trying to
are
have a debate.
journalists, and people constantly tell them that they're not. Right? Is that what I just heard?
Let's run it back again.
With me about fucking audience. That we're not journalists. Keffals, you don't have to worry about scrutinizing our journalistic integrity. Integrity. See, I can't even fucking speak correctly and you're trying to have a debate with me about fucking leftist politics. Absolutely not.
She's not debating you. It's not a video where she's debating anything. She's talking about how you use 2 tweets to make a 10-minute video, I think it was. That was half about the 2 tweets, and then the rest was you making some attempt of maybe satire, really, really poor satire. Maybe. Whatever it wasn't good.
Yeah, and reminder, this was a totally off-the-cuff segment inspired by a question from the boss. So shout out to you, the boss, if you're in the chat right now. This is all inspired by your query. With Keffals' shameless grift. Have you seen some of her recent tweets? She's like really going in this like anti-communist direction, posting shit like this all the time. The reason I'm so passionate about the topic of tankies is because I used to be in the Communist Party. I used to defend Stalin. I used to defend genocide. I know what they say behind closed doors. They want power. And if they get it, they want to put all actors in camps. So you guys know that like I'm not a tanky myself, and Zach and I don't really do the whole thing where it's like
we run the tanky brigade. What are you talking about? We're flag waving tankies. We're soldiers.
Screens.
But I also do think it's really weird when people supposedly on the left somehow end up spending more time shitting on like communists than they do like right wingers or conservatives.
So I guess my first criticism of the point that they're making here is that I am talking about tankies. The reason that I use the word tankies so often is because I want to make a distinction between communists and tankies. I don't think that everyone who is a communist is a bad person. And I agree with a lot of communist political views.
So I do kind of understand. Oh, go ahead.
Cut you off. Go for it.
I was just going to say that while I do understand the distinction she's making between tankies and just communists in general, the way this tweet is worded absolutely makes it seem like she's talking about communists in general, because she says, I used to be in the Communist Party.
Australia's healthiest owned.
Fuck off, Woolworths. God, I hope so.
I used to be in the Communist Party. Yeah, bro. Get excited. We have 7 cameras on screen.
And then goes on to basically just say everyone there was a tanky. I was a tanky. So it makes it sound like you know, if you're in the Communist Party, you're a tanky. If the Communist Party gets power, then they're going to put their detractors in camps or whatever this ridiculousness is.
100%. And we all know what the crux of this is, right? She's making a big deal out of a small, minute internet fringe, right?
Oh my God.
And she's
not you guys, though. Not you guys, though.
Just watch the video. She literally explains that it isn't small at all. Almost every country, if not every country, would have factions of Marxist-Leninists. It's not small. And they are all statists. Every single one of them.
Basically doing that because she knows that most of her audience is probably dead set on the like Ukraine, rah, flag waving, I hate the fucking Stalinist Russia, USSR, and that's what her entire audience has been conditioned to crave. Bosch, you know, the whole like Xander Hall, like fucking like I put a Ukraine flag in my bio and I'm on Twitch, people that I don't know your name, right? Gavin and I are so only on YouTube. Like I don't give a fuck about what anybody does on Twitch unless they come on our show and we talk about it with them. But it's just, that's the kind of audience that you're cultivating. And it's like, oh, I'm only
I don't believe you.
Guys, Keffals is on YouTube.
Yes. I also don't believe them.
I mean, if you don't watch Twitch, you don't watch Twitch. But they
no, I mean, they said that they're not really online. They're only on YouTube. I don't believe that.
Talking about this like super duper ultra fringe quarter of the Communist Party all the time, and it's like, yeah, do you not understand that that's a tactic of what people do when they want to smear an entire movement? Oh, I'm actually not against Black Lives Matter. All I do is spend all day talking about those like super fringe.
Look, man,
no, not a good comparison.
Yeah, if you wanted to make the comparison, compare the movement to the organization. There's your comparison. Not that hard. It really isn't, because the organization is corrupt as fuck. They are Marxists. I'm pretty sure they might be Marxist-Leninists. And they used all the donation money to buy a mansion. It's insane. Like, you want to fucking make a criticism? Do that. Not that hard.
Then they'd be
Black separatist group and talk about how evil and terrorist infested they are and how they actually hate all white people and want to exterminate us. And it's like, well, why do you talk about that all the time if you're not trying to rapidly misrepresent like a very collective movement like a Black Lives Matter? Or why are you talking about the most nefarious?
Literally, the Philippines is fighting off a Marxist-Leninist insurgency group at the moment.
There's multiple Marxist-Leninist insurgency groups that made it onto that terrorism tier list we were just talking about.
Yep. It absolutely was. There's tons.
War crime denying aspects of the fucking like deep fringe. Like I remember the first time I found out about tankies, I didn't even think they were real. And this is after a life of being a leftist.
They're not real. They're not real, guys.
Wait, what's not real? I missed that.
Tankies. They only exist on Twitter. As far as like the Western tankies, like these people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like voting and as a lefty and like
it wasn't until after we started this podcast actually that I found out about them.
100%. So we'd already gone through 2 Bernie Sanders presidential cycles basically before we found out what the fuck this was. And when I found out about it, we started making jokes about it, right? We made up the Danny Haifong diagonal to make sure that like, oh, where are you falling? Are you on the safe side of tank?
Okay, that's actually pretty funny. Do you know who that guy is?
Yeah, I think we've looked at him before.
He's awful. He's one of the worst women.
He also uses stream mode.
Yeah, he's so shit.
Thank you, them or not, you know? Can I retweet you? All those kinds of deals, right? And it's very it's very obvious, right? I could use a lot more like
hang guys. Hang on. Can we go back to read what your description said on that Twitter bio real quick? Let me just go to that again real quick. Okay, what's this here? 2 dudes covering news and online leftist media through a progressive populist lens. You're acting like you're guiding people, right? So now all of a sudden you don't know if you can retweet someone or not because you can't like validate sources enough to like realize that you're, you know, like you literally just retweeted right here. Genocide apologist right here. Let's see. There's another one. Genocide apologist. Actually, genocide defender. Right here. You know. Ryan Grimm, kind of cringe. I don't know if he's defended or apologized for genocide specifically, though.
Have a look through their follower list as well. Their following list. Who do they follow?
Not, can I?
Well, they also
you?
they follow like Aaron Mate and stuff, but I know that they hate him. They've had him on the show just to like confront him and stuff about how he's like a grifter and stuff.
It's very funny.
All those kinds of deals, right? And it's very it's very obvious, right? I could use a lot more like it's kind of like how they try and portray gay people as groomers, where they're like, oh, I'm not talking about all gay people, I'm just talking about the groomers. I'm just talking about the groomers. It's all that same kind of horseshit.
No, it's
right?
not.
So,
no, it's not. Because
no, it isn't.
That's not real. You see, those people live in a world of unreality. If they were like, hey, I used to be part of the grooming party, and now I'm spreading awareness about the grooming party, I think there would be a much different reaction to that as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no grooming children party.
No, and also, if you really want to talk about this, let's talk about how the fact that these people, their unreality is Ben Shapiro's reality. It's the Daily Wire's reality. They only listen to Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh. They follow libs of TikTok and that End Wokeness page. And then because they are inundated with
Elon
all these...
Musk now.
And Elon Musk. Yep. And because they're inundated with endless videos of crazy people who just happen to be trans as well, they now think that this is a norm, and what it really is a standalone complex. And I'm not going to explain what that is. Look it up. Actually learn something and then shut the fuck up. That would be great.
That's if she's like, why are they being so disingenuous? It's because we know what you're doing. Like, we can see very clearly that what you're trying to do is you're trying to rally up all of your like pro NATO, like fucking I hate communism, I hate Russians,
pro NATO,
like,
yes.
I want United
pro
States
NATO
to continue
people
this
definitely
proxy
watch
war.
Keffals.
What the fuck are they talking about?
Because Vosh has defended NATO, which we have a video about why Vosh is wrong for defending NATO coming out.
Isn't it the same video?
No. Well, no, it's we accidentally reacted to it twice and forgot that we reacted to it the first time. So I added them to both together and then did a reacception with it. It's probably the most fringe offbeat video we've done yet.
Watch it be the most popular one.
I mean, I'm on the next few releases for the month are going to be they're going to be attacking Vosh and these guys. So
yeah.
In Ukraine until the bitter end, even though we actually can see pretty clearly that that's not going to happen at this point. And to gin up fervor with your audience, you're trying to focus on a very like niche, internet-ridden, powerless group, and as a result,
true.
Do you know what they're doing?
True.
Do you know what they're doing? Do you see what they're doing?
What?
They're like, oh, look at us. We're nobody. You're big. You have lots of followers. You're trying to brigade us.
I thought they were talking about tankies, how they're niche online only. They're talking about themselves.
I think they're talking about
Jesus
themselves.
Christ, bro.
I think that's what's happening.
Cry
I
bullies.
could be missing it. That's what it sounds like.
Cry bullies incorporated.
Very ethical and very sincere goal of people to give fucking, equitable distribution of wealth. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Plus, I think that there's been kind of a redefinition of what the word tanky even means.
Okay, maybe
from
they
this
were
crowd of BreadTube. I think Soul Life.
We gotta watch the tanky video that I sent as well after this. I don't know how much we'll watch the Vanguard. They're very much of we quit eventually type viewing.
Well, when he says left of Vosh equals tanky, and it's kind of true.
Jesus Christ. They are talking until...
That's what they said. That's what chat said.
Still paused. Hold on. Oh, they moved a minute.
I mean, we'll do this. Like, we'll start a video and then the bare effort. Look, we reacted back. Now ask us on your show so we can be like, oh, we understand now.
They didn't even get to where she explained it. This is... I'm not watching this video anymore. That's appalling.
Okay, go to the tanky one.
That's actually appalling. You know what that deserves? A dislike.